Hello, my name is Jacob, and welcome to the Men's Entertainment Podcast. Today I'm joined by...
Luke.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
This is our second podcast. Still don't have a name for it. But we're going to swing right into it.
I like...
Go on.
I was going to say, I'd like to say we were working on it, but we're not.
We're not. We left it to our viewers, all two of them. So today, listening to other things, news stories and other podcasts and such, I decided on a topic we're going to talk about today because I think it's quite an interesting one and it's quite relevant to us and what we're doing and where we're hoping to go. So basically, I saw a story about self-service kiosks in fast food restaurants. So, for instance, McDonald's now has touchscreen things to order your food. I heard several other restaurants doing it as well. This is removing lots of the starter tier jobs that people would get into in order to sort of learn how to work. So I find this concept quite interesting because if you're removing all the lower tier jobs, I'm talking not doctors, not lawyers, things like that, stuff that just anyone can do. You could probably train a monkey to do it, but instead we use people. With the removal of these jobs, is it pushing people more towards the entertainment industry? So, for instance, YouTube, trying to get famous on Instagram and things like that. What are your thoughts, quickly, Luke? Just off that.
I'd say that there is a link between the fact that low-level jobs are being pushed out and people are moving towards online stuff, but I wouldn't say there's a huge link. I think the people wanting to be famous via other means is because people have always wanted to be famous ever since there were celebrities and famous people, but doing what they do requires... Not that YouTube or Instagram or anything like stuff. I'm not saying that's easy, but when you hear when you hear about people becoming like actors or footballers or whatever, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication and no small amount of luck. And I think people, I don't know, maybe people feel like, I think it is a lot easier to just sit in your room. Well, I don't know. It's difficult to record stuff, but it's still, I think, a lot easier to sit in your room and just play a video game or something rather than. Because I think each time you play a video game or something like that, you feel like you feel rewarded for doing that. Whereas if you go out and train for a day, maybe like practicing whatever, some sport or something like that, you have to keep doing that day and day and day, keep doing it, going and going and going until you get into that field of work. Whereas with YouTube or Instagram or something like that, as soon as you post a video on YouTube or a picture on Instagram, it's already there. That's kind of your job done. Like half of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like
half the job the job is to make content and put it on YouTube. So once you do all those steps, it is done. Whereas to become a footballer, you need to train and train and train without any success for years and stuff before you can get to a professional level. So I think people look at it and think it's easy, but it's not as easy. Because from the outset, you just you subscribe to your favorite YouTubers, you watch them, and all you see is the end product. You don't see the work that goes into it. So it does look easy from the outside.
Yeah.
In regards to the low-level jobs, because we got the self-service machines in the McDonald's in Bristol, haven't we?
Yes.
And I don't know. I prefer automated stuff like that because I don't know what it is. Even though self-service machines are like a fucking pain in the ass and they're crap, I still prefer it to having to interact with someone. I don't know what it...
People are becoming more and more so... It's promoting social awkwardness, really.
Mm.
I personally don't mind going into a restaurant and ordering food from someone. Or, actually, to put this better, interacting with a human being face to face is something I find really easy. Interacting with a human being on a telephone, mobile phone, whatever, is beyond impossible for me.
I think that comes down to... It's the same with when you're texting someone and something gets misconstrued or misportrayed, because we're not made to we haven't evolved to use stuff like that. We've evolved to be face to face with people and to read like emotions and facial expressions
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff like that. So when you're talking to someone on the phone, you haven't, as much as you don't realize it, your eyes move a lot more than you think. If you they did a scientific experiment where they had people come into a restaurant. It was like they went on like dates or something, and they had special cameras that were tracking the eye movements, and your eyes flicker all over the place, but you just don't notice it. It's the same with, I can't even remember what I was starting to talk about. I've just started talking
sorry.
down a
You've
tangent,
got
and I've just
social awkwardness.
eyes move.
But what you're saying is effectively that we don't just talk with our words.
That's it. Yeah, all you're getting is the voice. So you're not seeing people's lips move, which help you to kind of put together what they're saying. You're not seeing their facial expressions. You're just hearing noise through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I avoid calling people on the phone as much as possible because it is just, I find it so difficult. I hate it. Yeah, I don't mind with the restaurant thing. I don't mind situations where I have to interact with people where it's normal. That's the norm, to go into a restaurant and to interact with someone.
Yeah, but it's the same with McDonald's. You walk into McDonald's, you order your burger, you get your burger, you sit at the table. Easy peasy, normal.
Yeah, but the thing is, like with a self-service, self-service has become almost normal now. So the norm is for a lot of people to go in and not interact with anybody. So say it got like that to restaurants where you sit down and there's like a screen at your table and just order off the menu, and the only person you see is the person who brings out your food. It will become more and more awkward to interact with that person because the norm is to go and sit down and interact with a screen and not with a human.
Exactly. So
you're right. It is promoting an awkwardness to interact with other people because everybody's looking down at their tiny little screens in their hands to interact with people, not interacting with. Because who is it? Ed Sheeran got rid of his phone. He went away for a year and just got rid of his phone. Just didn't have it.
Really?
Yeah. And he said about, someone asked him, like, how do you arrange to go somewhere with someone and stuff like that? And he said, well, he still has like a home phone and stuff. He still has emails and stuff because obviously he needs to keep in touch with that kind of thing. But if you organise to go somewhere with like your friends or something, and you turn up somewhere and he's asked, what do you do when you get there? He's like, well, I just talk to people because there's plenty of people around you. And I feel like that's okay for him because he's famous and people know.
I was going to say he's Ed Sheeran.
Whereas if I did that, I feel like people would think I had something wrong with me, or I was a bit weird. If I went and sat down in a bar somewhere while I was waiting for some friends, I just started talking to someone, I feel like that would be, I think they would find it weird and I'd find it weird personally.
It depends how you start up the conversation.
Yeah.
So if you go over and just, hi, I'm Luke, how are you? That oddly enough is the awkward conversation.
It is.
Whereas if it just sort of starts up naturally, like you're sat next to someone, they order a drink, you order a drink, I don't know, you notice their hair is blue, because people do that now, and you might mention it. Oh, I like your hair. It's just a passing comment, but they then reply to it, and you reply back, and a conversation evolves from there. That would be fine. Ed Sheeran has the whole advantage of someone will go, hey, you're Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Another off comment, he replies, they reply, conversation evolves.
Well,
you don't have that.
Not even that, because if he starts a conversation and you realise who he is, and you go, oh, it's Ed Sheeran, he's talking to me, so you're going to talk back.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess you shouldn't think too much about it. You should just naturally just say something, because if you think about it, you overthink. You overthink things, and then it's just gonna go down the shitter anyway. And so yeah, I still don't. Yeah, it is promoting social awkwardness, but at the same time, the whole idea of like manual labor jobs or whatever, it's kind of an old-fashioned thing. With technology evolving, things are gonna get. I understand certain jobs that require a lot of people doing manual labor. If someone gets put out of that job, if a machine comes along that can do it better than they can, then they're going to be out of a job. But you've got to think of it, there's going to be a period where people will be out of work in that situation. But once people, because as soon as a robot, say a plasterer, okay, say instead you hire a robot. The way I think of it, you hire a robot and someone brings it to your house, and then the robot plasters for you, so you don't need plasters anymore. There will be a period where, every person, every human who was a plasterer won't have a job, for example. But as soon as that robot comes along, people will stop learning how to plaster, so it will stop being a problem.
Yeah, except what do they do now?
That's what I'm saying. There'll be a teething period where there'll be lots of plasterers who don't have a job.
Yeah, no, okay, so you remove... So, there are so many jobs that can easily be replaced with robots. Building, easy. 3D. They're already 3D printing houses over in America. Mm-hmm. It's not massively successful, but they're doing it. The job I do, I work in a warehouse. Okay, I rebox brake discs, which would be so easy for a robot to do. You just stick a disc in the middle of a box and fold the box. Simple. Picking the orders would be super simple. You just stick an arm on a rail and it goes around, picks the right thing from the right slot and the right number. Easy. Which would put millions of people out of work. At which point you've got millions of people unemployed. What do they do now? Because you've removed the serving people at supermarkets, restaurants. They can't do that. They can't work in a warehouse. They can't be builders. What do these, generally speaking, unskilled people do? Because some people don't have the skills or the knowledge to be doctors and lawyers and all the advanced stuff that a human has to do.
I know, it would... going back to the example of a plasterer, usually people of that trade have multiple skill sets, but obviously, like you said, most of their skill sets will be based around construction, and a construction for a machine at the moment isn't going to take over any human anytime soon, but it will happen at some point. So it'll just be easier to have a robot put up a house rather than get people to do it, because we can make robots super efficient and we're super not efficient. Yeah, I don't know that all I could say is there would be a slow process where people would be pushed out of that job, but I think the process of bringing in a robot that could plaster would take a lot longer, because then obviously, like you said, millions of people out of a job, so the government would be forced to find jobs for those people that are going to be pushed out of a job.
Yeah, but okay, the government would be forced to find jobs, except there's very little the government can do in regards to this. The government can't make jobs. The government can influence those who can to try and do it, but they can't themselves make jobs. So what I was thinking was, surely then people are going to look for alternatives, and the quick, easy alternatives are things like YouTube. You go on YouTube, you play some games, or you teach people to do something, you review a new technology, I don't know. Yeah. But people watch this and people make lots of money off this. So surely that's the evolution we're heading towards, where one day, no time soon, hundreds if not thousands of years in the future, is there going to be a point where we all work in entertainment?
I wouldn't...
So like...
Go on. No, carry on.
Well, I was going to say, like, I'm trying to become a games designer, video games designer, 3D modelling and such. That's what I want to do, which is entertainment. 50, maybe 60 years ago, video games didn't exist. These days, their role is simply for people to be entertained. They don't really serve a role in society. It's just to entertain people when they have nothing else to do, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, is there going to become a day where humans are, I suppose a better way to put it is, doing jobs that don't actually influence society? They just sort of make other people, or even ourselves, happy. It's just about entertaining us, rather than you work because you have to earn money to be able to survive and do the things you want to do. We're in a position where we just do what we want to do, whilst robots and machines do the crap we don't want to do.
Yeah, I guess you could say, with the rate technology is increasing and going up, is that as long as humanity doesn't obliterate itself and it kept on the course with the technology increases and whatever, that you go far enough into the future and machines could literally replace everything we do. But I see what you're saying in the idea that machines would literally replace every job that needs doing, so people turn to doing a job that entertainment is not as necessary as a doctor or something like that, but it's still something people need. So you're saying there would be no jobs in the sector of jobs that need doing, so people would turn to jobs that like entertainment and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, all jobs that need doing could be done by a machine. I can't think of a job that needs doing that you think, a human should probably do that or something like that. Because they're already like, I'm sure they're already using they're trying to. I'm pretty sure 3D print like I'm pretty sure they've 3D printed like tissue and stuff like that, like human tissue or some kind of tissue, because they're looking to get into 3D printing like organs and stuff, so there doesn't need to be any like transplants and stuff like that.
Yep. You just take someone's DNA and print them a new lung or
something
whatever.
that perfectly matches what they need, and that's that. You can keep going far enough. Okay, that's done. Well, do you actually need human doctors? No, because if you made a robot that was good enough, it would be a hell of a lot more accurate than a human doctor would be, for example.
Yeah. So a robot's not going to slip and slit your arteries, for instance.
Thing is, when does I've only seen this kind of dramatic stuff happen on like TV shows and stuff like that, obviously for the drama. But when someone is flatlined, but the doctor keeps going and then they get brought back, how do you program a robot without, if you're not going to give it AI, how do you program a robot to do that? To know. Oh, actually,
that'd be quite easy.
I was going to say, yeah, because after a certain amount of time, someone would go brain dead anyway, wouldn't they? Without, if they were like
brain damage occurs after 2 minutes.
That was it, yeah. Okay, so that wouldn't be.
But people have been brought back to life up to 24 hours after death. Now, that's very specific circumstances.
I was going to say, those are very rare cases.
Yes, these people kept in perfect conditions for those 24 hours and then had very skilled doctors trying very hard to bring them back to life. So I'm not suggesting that a robot can try for 24 hours to keep you alive. But for instance, 10 minutes. If you're brought back to life 10 minutes after death, depending on your death, you could be relatively alright. So you just have a case of the robot keeps trying to resuscitate you up to a certain time limit. 10 or maybe 5-10 minutes.
I see like imagining it, if we got to that point, I'd still see, because let's say we haven't come up with any kind of like AI or something like that, right? I still see the need for humans to just watch over stuff like that. Even if I'm talking about a robot that you hire to come and plaster your walls, I'd still see humans pulling up and delivering it, kind of thing.
Okay. Except we're developing autonomous cars a lot quicker than we're developing a plastering robot, for instance.
Yeah.
So as soon as we've got robots to do the menial jobs, surely we'll have automated systems of delivery as well.
Yeah.
Amazon's already using drones to deliver your packages.
Yeah, I just mean in the sense of like just having humans overlook things just to make sure. Yeah. But I guess if obviously in the early stages you're going to want a human over watching stuff, but after a while it'll be a case of, well, we don't need the robots are so perfect enough that we'll only need a human to come in to do maintenance every, let's say, 5 years or something, just to make sure the machine is going to be working or whatever.
At some point, surely you can create a robot to go and fix the robot.
That's what I'm saying. We can talk about this, but at the end of the day, if, like I said, if humanity doesn't obliterate itself and technology keeps going at the rate it's going at, then robots will be able to replace literally everything we do, absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So it is.
But so what would humans be doing at that point? Is essentially the question I was asking at the beginning.
If it got far enough where there was AI and human and robots were literally able to do everything, with them having AI, they would. I'd like to think that we'd get on along peacefully, but there are too many people that would oppose it, I think, and there would be. I think honestly that either AI robots, if they couldn't live, well, you got to think of it. Although they'd be more intelligent, like far more intelligent AI robots, they are still going to. I don't know how to word it. They're still going to. I don't know. They wouldn't be like they'd be super intelligent. So, would they be perfect in every way, or would they still have flaws that we? Would they still have the flaws of humans?
You you don't know. We won't know till we get there.
Because all we can draw from, all I can draw from is science fiction, and in science fiction, AI has human flaws. The same with like when like alien races are being created and stuff like that, they're still kind of humanoid, or they represent something on Earth because our imagination is in like a sphere of like things that are on this Earth. So they take.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, that's the big question. Would AI have the same flaws as a human would? Because
an
example, iRobot, where is his name Spoon? Is Will Smith's character Spoon?
Spooner,
is interviewing. Also, is it
Sonny?
Sonny, and he keeps questioning him, and he gets angry, so he slams the table. Now that you could consider to be a flaw, so that obviously had human flaws. Same with Ultron. He said a line when he cut off what's his name's arm, and he said something that Tony Stark said because he's got a little bit of Tony Stark in him. So
keep your friends rich and your enemies rich, and wait to see which is which.
Yeah. So he also had human flaws to a certain extent. So every AI I can think of has had.
Okay, you say that, but you're talking about media, and at which point do you really want to watch a film where it goes, everybody was fine, they were happy, and they lived happily ever after forever, the end. Nothing ever happened. We all just live life. It's not a film I want to watch.
Wait, you explain that again?
You're saying that you're basing all of this off of films, right? But films have to have a problem, an issue, because if you watch a film and everyone was happy forever, the end. Nothing ever happened. Everyone was happy, the end.
Yeah.
That's boring. There's no film there. So basing things off of media, you can't do that because real life is not interesting.
No,
even reality TV. We call reality TV reality, but it's not, because if you stuck a camera in my house right now, you would get no viewers because it's boring as all hell. I'm sat in my room talking to a computer, and my dad's in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah,
there's nothing interesting in most of reality.
That's the whole point in like the entertainment sector, is to take people away. Or like reality TV, like you said, it's a heightened version of normal day-to-day life. It tries to make normal life exciting because people want. Because on reality TV, every single day seems to have fucking drama, and in real life that would be horrible. That would be horrific.
Yeah.
Like to be every single day to have some piece of drama, it'd be so fucking stressful. So they just heighten everything because obviously people want to escape their everyday lives, which is But yeah, you can't, like with the AI thing. Like there was that AI that I told you about that Facebook created, and after like, don't quote me on this, but after maybe a week or something, the two AIs created their own language, so they could only speak to each other and no one else, and no one could decipher what the new language they had created. They just come up with a fucking language on the spot, and I think either Facebook closed it down. I think Facebook closed it down after it created its own language because they're like, what's it say? And they're like, don't know. So they hit the off switch.
Plotting against us.
That's not. See, that's because even though artificial intelligence is a machine. Wait, artificial intelligence is the idea of creating a machine that has consciousness, right? Yeah. Is that the same thing? Because I know they use it in films and stuff like that, but artificial intelligence is just something that's artificial.
It's a learning computer. Something that can learn and adapt and change.
Because that's the thing. Because obviously, humans programmed the AI. So, is there going to be a sense of humans created it? So surely it will have some kind of human flaw. And even if you created a robot that had a conscience, right?
Yeah.
It would, although it would be super smart, it would still need to learn. It would just learn at like an accelerated rate and stuff like that.
Well, that's the I bit in AI.
Yeah.
Intelligence is being able to learn.
So surely an AI would have human flaws, because who would teach it? It would be a human, surely. Or you'd have humans around it to teach you. Someone wouldn't create a fully functioning robot with consciousness and not want to interact with it, and not want to teach it, not want to see what it can do, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? You've seen Chappie, haven't you?
No.
You haven't seen Chappie?
Nope.
Not going to go through like the whole film. It basically gets consciousness. I can't remember how. I only watched it the other day. I can't remember. It's an alright film. And the guy that created it, he's trying to crack artificial intelligence, and he does it. And he puts it in a broken robot. That was going to be.
Didn't we talk about this on the last podcast?
No. We
No?
talked about like human enhancements. Talked about like
we talked about it recently, but yeah, carry on.
And basically these gangsters get hold of it. They need to do a heist. Blah blah blah. But when it first comes online, it's scared like a child, and they're teaching it words and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying, that, and eventually they take it out and they teach it to shoot and saying like that, and give it false reasons for like hijacking like expensive cars and like rich people and stuff like that. And I'm saying that people, surely an AI would have human flaws, or would it be, if because we're going to teach it, would it be intelligent enough to realize what some of the things we do is wrong? Do you know what I mean? Like, would it be intelligent enough to go, okay, all of this, and this that humans do is great, but you need to get rid of this, and this to make it even better?
I suspect it'd be more a case of it would look at what we're doing and go, but why the hell are you doing that? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you steal from each other? How does this benefit the whole sort of thing? Because I could be wrong, I expect that robots would have a greater understanding of like unity and things because of what they are.
I think, yeah, and we could sit here and look at why people steal, and you'd have to look at the kind of person that is committing the crime and their background and where they live and what situation they're in, and then you'd have to change their situation to stop them doing that. There's stuff like that, but yeah, you're right with the autonomous car thing. It is probably it's gonna go quite smoothly with everything, and it's going to be boring because, like I said, it's real life, and things you see in movies happen at an accelerated rate. Whereas, like, how long is it since they like first announced like the first like couple of like autonomous cars, like to now Tesla putting ones on the road? Like, it's been
a couple of years.
It's been so long because obviously life happens at life's normal rate, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Whereas in a film, you'd see like some exposition at the beginning where it was like some autonomous cars, then it would jump 10 years or 20 or 50 years into the future, and all of a sudden you've got robots with AI running around. So you're kind of like, oh my god, but 50 years is a long time.
Like, it's over double our lifespan so far.
So and the whole human. I was thinking when you said about like human interaction and stuff like that, thinking about have you seen? I think it's called Minority Report. Tom Cruise. Have you seen that? Minority.
Yes, you're right. That is what it's called. No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't?
I don't think so.
Is a really cool film set in the future, and he's just the premise of the movie. It doesn't really have anything to do with human interaction, but he is a cop, and they have basically three. I think they must be psychics. The year is 2054, and the police utilize the psychic technology to arrest and convict murderers before they commit a crime. So they've got these three psychics in a pool, and the psychics can show them when a crime is about to be committed, and Tom Cruise and his team are sent in to arrest them before they commit a crime. But the thing that I want to talk about was there's this, I can only vividly remember it. Uh, it's like they go to the like Tom Cruise goes to this person he knows. And it's like this like techno bar or something like that, and people go in these pods, and you can see some of the things they're being like. It's like I don't know. I think that it's like they get taken into like this almost like virtual reality environment. I can imagine, where like it's going past and you're seeing what different people are like paying to see, and one of them, some person's like being surrounded by people he's really successful, another person's having sex with a hot lady, and there's something like that. And that going off of not wanting human interaction, do you think it'll get to a state where people, because people are already interact online anyway, like Facebook, stuff like that. Do you think it'll ever get to a point where more people look for that virtual reality? Like, I'm not talking about virtual reality now. I'm talking about like a super realistic
full dive.
A what?
Full dive. It might just be a term used by an anime called Sword Art Online, but basically where your consciousness is put into a game rather than you're just looking in. You are inside the game.
No, yeah,
like the Matrix.
Almost not. Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll go with that. You go somewhere and you get put into a completely, fully realistic but virtual environment. Do you think people will, as technology starts to take over and it starts to take like the menial job, so human interactions get cut less and less, do you think more people will be looking for that kind of thing where they can interact in a virtual environment where they feel like they're in full control rather than interacting with actual people?
Yes, I think probably.
But
I don't know.
I guess
there will be people, like you said earlier, there will be people that will rebel against the idea.
I guess also it's not just looking away from human interaction, but if you can go into a virtual environment, you could create any situation. Let's say you can pay, and you have a plethora of options that you can choose, where you can make your own world, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you say you work as a mechanic in a garage in like a small village somewhere. You go to one of these centers, you plug in, and suddenly you're like the CEO of some big made-up company, kind of that thing. So I think it'll be more of a people go for escapism rather than getting away from humans. They still want to interact with people, but just in an environment where they're in full control.
They're in control.
There's no repercussions, and it's a heightened version of reality. Because they do it in there's a scene in Inception where they're in India, aren't they? It's India. And they go into that basement, and everyone it's got that heavy like drug.
They're heavily sedated, yeah.
Because
I watched Inception recently though. They weren't there because they had been into the dream so much that their dream had become reality.
Yeah.
And it was the only way they could dream.
But but they chose that to begin with because they wanted escapism, wasn't it? Because that guy says to them, he explains it. He says, "Who are you to judge them?"
Yeah,
because he says people come down here to get away from reality, to go into their dreams, because obviously they can control them and stuff.
Kind of, yeah.
I get it's
and unless you can put someone in their own head, like consciously in your own mind, where you can control it, then you wouldn't be able to just create your own realities, because in a virtual, making video games, I know how this sort of works. So making virtual reality, someone actually has to still make it, which is not easy.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be a case where everyone has made everything, so you can just stick anything in your virtual reality.
I was going to say, I think it would start off with like the big ones, like, I don't know, being able to be a footballer, go into this environment, be a footballer, go into this environment, be an actor or a celebrity, like stuff like that, like the big ones that lots of people just want to experience, kind of thing. And I think it would start off as like an experience thing that you go to experience. Like when you go to a theme park to experience a roller coaster, you can only experience that at a theme park. So you go to these centers to like experience things you wouldn't usually get to experience. Maybe it'll start at like a like a spaceship. Like you get put into this environment where you're flying a spaceship or something like that you wouldn't normally be able to experience. And I think it would grow from that as the technology got better and as more people used it, that it would just become. But I think to do what you're saying, to put people into their own kind of head almost, or like to be able to project them into this world that they're going to create somehow, that we'd have to have a full understanding of the human brain, and that isn't possible.
Why not?
We can't. We're because we're looking at ourselves. We need. It was published somewhere. I can't remember where. I'm really bad at citing sources, but we can't fully understand the brain because it's the brain looking at itself. It's like when you look in the mirror, right? So you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at yourself and go, I don't think I'm that attractive. But you go out and find someone who thinks you are really attractive, but you can't understand that because through your eyes you don't see yourself as attractive. Same premise. It's the brain looking at itself. So we need another species to look at our brain to fully understand it.
Okay.
So
maybe we'll find another species that can do that for us, though.
Well, it was going back round to the robot thing. You created AIs; they'd be able to do it for us. Hey, robot.
Yeah, potentially.
Can you figure out everything about our brain, please? Because we still don't fully understand it. So I think once we gain a full understanding of the brain through the AI robots, we'd be able to happily use the Matrix in a reality. Because it's the robots. The humans don't put in the Matrix. The humans haven't put themselves in those environments. The robots have created it for the humans. So it's the robots obviously figured out how to do it, and then made. Do you know what I mean? They made the environment.
No, the humans made the Matrix first. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but they create. Okay, they made. No, they didn't. It was.
Didn't they?
No, they created the machines, the AI, but they were powered by solar. So the humans blotted out the sky.
We struck
blotted out the
way.
sun. So then the robots were like, "Can't use the sun now. Humans give off heat and stuff. Let's use them." So they created the Matrix. The AI created early versions of the Matrix that couldn't hold so many people or something like that, but it eventually got so big and so powerful that it basically just could hold unlimited amounts of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our neurosynaptic energy they were after, actually. But yeah, all right.
Well, it was that, and it was like the fact that we produce heat and stuff as well, because we do give off heat. And
we do, but not that much.
Well, yeah, but you got to imagine having billions of humans. Imagine that. I'm sure that amounts to some amount of heat. Like,
yeah, it will. But in the film, they say it's the energy in our heads.
All right. Well, I don't believe you.
Check it then.
Robots. What are the robots harnessing? What are the robots harnessing? Karen talking.
To be honest, I think we've sort of run out of this topic. We're veering off. Well, which is fine, but you're talking about the Matrix now, which is. So essentially, I think you've decided that we won't tend towards actual industry and instead just create our own imaginings.
Yeah. No, it is. They did create a lot of it because we are like living batteries.
Yeah, we have a lot of electricity in our heads
and
in
and
us.
the heat as well.
I'm not saying... Where does it say that? You didn't find that, did you?
The human body generates more by electricity than a 120 volt battery, and over. Here we go. Yeah, 25,000 BTUs of body heat. He does say it in the film. Fuck you. Combined with a form of fusion, the machines have found all the energy they would ever need. Yeah, fuck you. I was right. So, what was this? Many have commented that this doesn't make much sense. Humans are a lousy energy generator. For example, noted that over the course of a day, a single human body generates between 6,000 and 10,000 BT. What's a BTU? Oh, the British Thermal Unit. Okay, thank you.
So a degree.
While awake, the human body throughout a single day produces between 6,000 and 10,000. Right. But when it's asleep, it produces less. But I don't
Yeah.
think that would matter because we're not. I don't know actually.
It doesn't matter. It's fiction. It's the Matrix.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Humans will.
But talking about fiction,
We will be taken over by the robots, and they're gonna.
we will be taken over.
We're gonna be batteries, Jacob.
Yeah, but living in the Matrix, I can live with that.
It's funny that in the film, Agent Smith talks about the fact that they created a paradise to begin with, but humans rejected it because they were like, nah, this is too good to be true. So they actually had to create like just a shitty normal version of our lives to make us go, yeah, this is real.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah. Yeah, that is quite funny, and I suspect would be very, very accurate.
Yes. Go on, you're segueing.
I was trying very hard to segue into. Let's talk about Game of Thrones because that came back.
Oh yeah, what was it? But it's 3 episodes in, aren't we?
3 episodes. In.
Go on,
Three
then, what...
very interesting episodes, if you ask me.
Yeah, I like that they're. Because obviously the first episode, in terms of like episodes previously, it wasn't. I guess I don't want to say it wasn't spectacular because it was, because it set up. It went to all the main characters and stuff and set up basically set up the rest of the series, giving away. I love the.
What do you mean, episode 1?
Yeah. What did I say?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I said episode 1.
Yeah.
Might have. Yeah. So I love. Like especially at ends of like episodes like the Flash or the Arrow, you get that just like however long, just little snippet of like something really cool, and that's what that whole episode was. It was reintroducing the characters back. So here's Daenerys, she's finally back on Dragon's Keep. What is it called? I can't remember.
Dragonstone.
Yeah, she's finally back there,
It's
like
made
little
of
bits
stone,
and like giving
and
away
they're
of what's going to happen next episode. Where you know, at the end of the episode where she was stood at the map and there's long silence and she was like, "Shall we begin?" I was like, "Oh yes!" Like, I just love that whole episode was like that, and it's kind of been like that at the moment. What it's building up to is really exciting.
Yes. But I do find it really funny that, like, up till now, Daenerys has not lost, right?
Yeah.
Every battle she's, like, fought, she has won. She's won against the slavers, the masters,
Well, who are the slavers? Are they the ones where she got the Unsullied from?
Yeah.
Because she didn't fight them, she just came to buy them, and then she was like, nah, I'm going to free them.
Yeah, she bought the Unsullied, then told them to kill the masters. And they went through that entire city and killed them all.
I was going to say, that's I've... Obviously it's all fiction and stuff like that, and it's written to be like that, because it was too good to be true. It's like, okay, I'm going to send all you guys back down to Dawn, and then you're going to come back, and then the Unsullied are going to take Castle Rock.
But yeah, but back to my point quickly, if you'll let me finish, and then you can carry on with that.
Yeah, go on.
I do find it really funny that, like, she keeps doing things and getting her ass kicked.
Yeah.
Because she is. Because Aeon Greyjoy's ships can teleport. There is no way they could travel that quick.
Yes, that, and it's just cool. I think she is under, because, like you said, she has won everything she has come against. While she had problem with the masters, like with the guys going around the golden masks, like stabbing people, what she still finished it. So she has won everything. But I think she's come across, and she is heavily underestimated. Cersei, Jaime, and is it Aeon? Is his name Aeon?
Yeah, Aeon Greyjoy. I am pretty sure. But yeah, and the thing is, she's come over with the thought of, I've got 1,000 Unsullied, 3 dragons, and a bunch of Dothraki. I can kill anyone, and then thrown the Unsullied against the Lannisters, and found that actually the Lannisters put up a pretty the Westerosi armies actually put up a damn good fight, as opposed to all the untrained idiots she's been fighting up till now.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to look at Game of Thrones map and figure out where, because I'm not sure where Aeon intercepted his cousin's ships, but then he went back to Castle Rock, so you can only imagine that she. So I'm trying to find. Can I zoom in?
We've really got to stop clicking on maps on Google to try and get fictional maps.
I'm trying to find. Sorry.
Why doesn't it have Google Street View, Luke?
Because the Iron Islands are like the opposite side to where King's Landing is. There's the Sea of Dawn. So we did go quite a way to do from King's Landing down to the Sea of Dawn. I'm trying to find where like Dragonstone Keep is or whatever it's called. This map is not very detailed, I'm afraid.
Right, I am now also looking at a map.
Okay,
So,
here we go. Weeping Tower, Stonehelm. There's the Sea of Dawn. Between those two, where is Dragonstone Keep? Because it's on the sea somewhere, so it's on the coast.
it's on an island, isn't it? No. Yes. Yeah, Dragonstone's on an island, isn't it?
Shield Islands, the Broken Arm, Greenstone. Is it even called Dragonstone Keep or whatever I called it?
It's Dragonstone.
Is it Dragonstone, yeah?
Yeah, you keep calling it a keep. Well, I guess there is a keep, but it's Dragonstone. If you could pull up a faction map, it's the Baratheons. Stronghold, or it was.
Yeah, I was not, but yeah, I think yeah, he's going really fast, but it's really cool to see that it isn't working because as soon as you like mention it, like we're gonna go do this, this, and this, I was like, that seems like kind of it's too perfect a plan in the world of Game of Thrones for it to run as perfectly as you've just described it.
Yes.
Oh, Dragonstone Keep is not that far away from King's Landing.
Isn't it?
Literally from King's Landing. If you follow the coast north, it's literally just up from it.
Yeah.
By the looks of things.
It's you've got one like really big bay, and then it's in the second bay, isn't it?
So yeah, so from him to go to King's Landing to intercept those ships going down to Torn was not a problem. But it was Castle Rock, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is on the other side of the freaking map.
Is it?
Yeah, he's got to go around the entirety of Westeros.
Has he? Where is it on?
I'm trying to find a decent map.
Not very many highly detailed ones, is there?
No.
So I just found the faction map. That's where I found.
It is a fictional place.
I know, but come on.
Yeah, put some effort in, guys. Castle Rock is. Where did the faction map I had a minute ago? It's.
Oh yeah, it's on the west coast. I think.
Yeah.
That's it. Where I'm pointing at. Yeah. Yeah. So.
I know the viewers can't see this.
He had to sail. But we don't know how long. Yeah, like time will be like squished and manipulated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a going to theories now because there's fucking plenty of them. Oh yeah, Dragonstone is literally just a little island just up from Stone Dance and Sharp Point.
Yeah.
So okay, right. So theories because Game of Thrones is just ripe for theory picking. One of them was. Cause you know the intro with like the big sun sphere thing, and then seeing the map. That is it's made like that because it's supposed to represent the big magnifying thing in the old town in the library.
You mean the Citadel?
Citadel, that's it. It's a big fucking library. It's a big library. Come on.
No, it's not. It's got a big library in it, but it's a Citadel. But carry on.
Anyway, yeah, it's representing that, and
yeah,
it's the second episode where the Grand Maester is talking to his name Samwell.
Samwise.
Samwell,
Samwell Tarly.
I was gonna say Samwell, not Samwise. He's fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I realised.
When the Grand Maester is talking to him about being able to write with some flair so people read your books, but also being factual is important if you're gonna write a book. And he names a book, and Samwell says that it doesn't sound very good. He said, "What would you give it?" And he said something with a bit more like flair or pizzazz, basically. And people are saying that wouldn't it be a coincidence that he'd write a book called A Song of Ice and Fire or something like that, something more interesting, and that everything we're seeing is him retelling the story of what happened. It's going to wrap around in that kind of big loop. I don't want it to be that, and I don't think it will be that, because I think that's a cop out of it was all just a kind of a dream thing kind of thing, but none of it.
No, not really. That's just like a tack on ending. It doesn't really matter.
That's why I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to have some kind of like ending like that. I want it to, it'll either, I want it to end with either humans winning or the White Walkers winning. Not a, oh, in the end it was just a story being told by Samwell. And like, oh, so.
Well, no, it's a recollection of history. But yeah, whatever.
But people are saying it would be an ending of him telling the story of A Song of Ice and Fire. That kind of ilk. It would end in that way.
Right.
Actually, I think that would do the entirety of Game of Thrones a disservice to end it with it just being Samwell finding out that it was just Samwell telling a story.
I don't think so, but because, like I say, it's him retelling history.
Yeah. I guess maybe in a way it would be cool to see him as Grand Maester and he's telling someone about it.
Because it's not like it's and it was all a dream.
Yeah.
Because it's not removing anything from it. It's just saying that he wrote the story or is retelling the story. It's pointless tack on at the end. Yeah. It's not like what I half expect, and this is pure speculation based on absolutely nothing, Walking Dead to be, which is, and Rick is still in a coma.
Oh, I think shows like Walking Dead and Game of Thrones are too well written and are too good to be ended, like you said, with a tack-on ending.
Yeah.
It feels like they've put in, especially Game of Thrones, so much effort has been put into everything they've done, to then just tack on an ending which feels like they haven't put any thought into it, I think would be silly on their part. I think they come up, considering how elaborate the show is, I think they come up with a way more elaborate ending.
Yeah, except Walk of Dead.
I mean, you're not wrong there.
The Walking Dead isn't that complex or interesting.
It's not nearly as complex because it's not the only fictional stuff. It's the zombies, which are more close to reality than like
the zombies in Game of Thrones.
Than the
whites.
Than the magic in.
Yeah.
I also like I always like to put magic into two categories in like films and stuff like that. So you've got what I call direct magic from like Harry Potter, where they say a spell and something zaps at the end of their fucking wand, like direct attack magic, or like in Skyrim where you blast fire at your hands. And then there's the idea that there is some kind of magic maybe, but it's very indirect, like in Lord of the Rings or in Game of Thrones, where it's not, I'm going to point my staff or something at you and you're going to get zapped by a fucking lightning bolt. It's a more of a mystical kind of non-direct magic.
Influence.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's more like that. Yeah, it's more like an influence, or like they're like hexes or stuff like that, rather than a direct, oh, you're on fire now or something like that. Because we got Melisandre bringing Jon Snow back, which was like a mystical thing, and
yeah,
what's his name? Is it Clegane seeing something in the fire?
Yes.
I thought it was really cool that they didn't show us what he saw.
No.
Because I don't know when Daenerys got the vision, but when she was walking through King's Landing, the throne room was melted and there was snow everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember how she got that vision, but we saw it. But with that, when it was kind of zooming in on his face, I was like, we're going to get some kind of like really cool exposition that is like, no, he's just going to describe it. I thought he was going to say something stupid or something like insulting. Like he's going to look in and go, I see
fucking fire, you idiots.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, actually, it was cool that he just described it. You're like, then you have to use your own imagination. It's like they wrote it for people to go, okay, we want you to describe the scene because we want people to imagine that in their head, kind of thing. Do you think? Because do you remember Daenerys' vision?
Vaguely.
Do you think that? How far do you think the White Walkers will get? How far do you think the Night King will be able to push?
Oh, they're gonna knock that wall down.
People are saying that they're not going to knock the wall down because the intro, people are saying, has revealed something. When it shows the wall, after it shows the little lift going up to the top, after it zooms out, on the right-hand side of the wall, there's no water there anymore. And on that right-hand side of the wall is where that city is that Jon Snow has sent the wildlings to go to defend, because he said that's where the battle's going to
Oh,
be. I
yeah.
can't remember the name of the city, but people are saying because there's no water
It's
there.
not a city; it's a keep.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean.
There's two keeps at the end of the wall because there's little bits of land.
Yeah, so that's where. And people are saying because there's no water in the big river that's next to it as well, that's where they're going to be able to come around, and that obviously. And people are saying that that's going to be that episode's going to be like a. You remember Hard Home where they fought?
Yeah.
There's going to be like a episode of that, but on steroids. Because obviously we saw that bit of the White King walking through with all the whites and then the giants and stuff like that.
Yes.
I just wonder how far they push it, because obviously it showed at the end of Hard Home all those people that died. The Night King just brought them back.
Yeah.
So I wonder how, because they're now saying that was them saying, for every battle you lose, our army's gonna get bigger. So even if they don't lose a battle,
at that point they couldn't kill the whites.
Yeah. So if they battle at that fort that's on the edge of the wall, even if they don't lose, everyone that's dead, the Night King will be able to resurrect. So I'm just wondering how. But now we've seen that obviously Daenerys is letting Jon mine the dragon glass, so they can be able to make weapons that go against it. So I think they will win, but it will be a bitter victory, and there's going to be a lot more main characters that are going to die, I think.
Yeah, well, it's Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah,
so
and
no shit.
Well, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to big characters being slaughtered and being stabbed and killed and blown up and eaten or whatever. Do you think there'll be an ice dragon as well? Because people, it's obviously it was Bran the Builder that built the wall, but people are saying that it was either in the books or in an episode. I think it was in an episode where they talk about the fact that there's got to be some strong magic to keep that wall up, and people are saying that it's because there's like an ice dragon or something, or like a dead dragon buried at the base of it or something, and that's the dragon's magic is keeping the ice wall like up. Because it can't be just an ice wall that big that's just being held up just by itself, surely.
Yes, it can.
Do you think? I don't know.
When you have ice, so a smaller example of this. You've seen A Million Ways to Die in the West, right?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Okay. Well, in the trailer, in fact, someone carts in this great big block of ice. And Seth MacFarlane explains, and this is true, that they had to have the ice that big so that it wouldn't melt. Basically, having enough ice, it can maintain itself for a while. It isn't like infinite. But that amount of ice will keep itself mostly frozen as long as it doesn't get bathed in fire, for instance.
Okay.
The outside could melt, but it would then hit cooler ice and instantly refreeze.
Right.
So,
but we know that it was built anyway. It wasn't like a natural thing.
No, because how the hell? Yeah, and how the hell do you build a wall of ice? No, I completely expect that maybe not to be an ice dragon, but there's definitely something mystic about it.
Or people are saying that one of Daenerys' dragons is going to be killed and the Night King's going to bring it back.
I was about to say, I do reckon, however, that the Night King's going to have a resurrected dragon or two.
I fucking hope so. I fucking hope they blew like at least 3/4 of their budget on making a really dope ice dragon. Like, here's however much money, or not a case of here's however much money. It's like, how much money do you need to create an ice dragon? They went this much. I went, okay.
If we double it, can you do it faster? Because let's face it, Game of Thrones has money.
Oh yeah, they like last season it was like $1 million an episode, wasn't it? I think it's ridiculous. It cost $1 million an episode. It's ludicrous the amount of money they get, but it's so. I enjoy every episode and it's so good, and apparently with, Bran was talking to Sansa under the tree. Apparently he's being real off with her because obviously he can see everything now. And he was being really off with her and not very nice because apparently he can see that she's going to portray Jon Snow, because that's why Sansa's being kind of opposed. She's been nearly opposed to everything Jon has like suggested or talked about, and people are saying that Bran Bran saw her portray him in some way, but I'm not sure in what way she would portray him. Because even though they kind of lock horns on some things, they still love each other.
Yes.
So I wouldn't see a way, unless Littlefinger wriggles his way in a bit more.
No, I want to... He might do, but I really just want to see Jon break Littlefinger's neck.
Okay, no, like, yeah, because he pinned him up under in the tombs, didn't he? And said,
yes.
If you go anywhere near her...
If you touch Sansa, I will kill you.
Yeah, it would be really cool to see him. Or maybe he'd be the... Because he's avoided battle so far, but I think this battle for the North with the White Walkers coming, I think he might die in it. Because you've got these characters that have avoided... They've gone about things in a different way with that.
Yes.
So, what's the bald guy's name? Is it Varys?
Varys,
yeah. He has avoided... He hasn't fought anyone in, like... Considering what he's been through, he hasn't actually fought anyone, but he's done things in another way. Like, manipulation, politics, stuff like that. But I think characters like that might be put under more risk because of what's coming. They can't run away anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, the White Walkers are coming, they need to be stopped. So
yes,
I don't know if they're... Because, like, Varys can't, or, like, Littlefinger can't really run to King's Landing or anything like that. They can't go across the sea to where the Dothraki came from. Could go down to Dorne, but that's a really long fucking way. So I think characters like that will be put in danger. I'm trying to think what happened last episode. Oh yeah, they captured Castle Rock, but then they got fucked over.
They got butt fucked. They got bent over
And
by Aeon's water fortresses. Because that's what they are. If you looked at them in, I think it was episode 1, they are fucking water fortresses.
His ship is fucking awesome. Like big, like multiple sails and like.
Yes,
it is fucking cool, and I think he's one of my favorite characters now because I loved when he was on the bridge on the Iron Islands when he killed it must have been his brother, wouldn't it? Yeah,
it was.
When he was like, I've been away and you sent me out to exile and become the man I am, and I am the storm. I was like, oh, he's gonna be so fucking cool. And he has been really cool. He's been really cocky. He's really he's kind of mad in a way, and it's really
I like awesome. Him, but I'm gonna like when we watch him die.
It's going to be interesting to see how he does die because someone's going to. I think because of how he's kind of cruelly. He's almost as bad as Cersei is. How both those characters might die because I think people are going to want to kill them in a horrific way or in a not very nice way.
I think Theon's just going to stab him.
Do you think Theon will come back around and?
Yes.
I think it'll be like a cowardly thing, like he'll stab him in the back or something in heat of battle or something. He'll creep up on him.
Maybe. I reckon that they are going with a whole redemption thing with Theon. Like, they're making him out... He's suffering PTSD. Like, there's no two ways about it. Everything you've got to feel sympathy for Theon. He was tortured by Ramsay for God knows how long.
Yeah,
he had his dick cut off. Which meant he was rejected by his father. And then he's slowly been trying to redeem himself little by little. So he saved Sansa. He helped Sansa for a while until she found Brienne.
Yeah.
He then went back to the Iron Islands to like redeem himself in his father's eyes or whatever. So he's been doing little things and trying to become Theon again.
Yeah.
And I reckon the pinnacle where he is Theon again, he's going to kill Aeon, probably saving his sister.
Yeah. I think maybe eventually. I still think because obviously killing Aeon would be a redemption. I still don't think he's going to do it to him face to face. I think he might be caught in the battle in a fight, fighting him head on. Someone else is going to come over and take the fight away from Theon.
And Theon just goes and
he's gonna be cowering, like, cowering somewhere. But he's gonna see that someone that took Aeon away from him and is fighting him, and he's gonna pick up a blade. He's gonna be like, you know what, I've had enough of this, and just runs in. Maybe he dies at the same time, but I think you're right. I think he's gonna kill him. Who do you think is gonna kill Cersei? Because people are saying that Jaime is starting to lean away from her because he can kind of see how cruel she's become, or kind of like borderline evil, maybe, in a sense.
Yes, but no. Jaime's not going to kill Cersei.
No, I don't think he's going to do it. I'm just saying, do you think
Oh,
he's
right.
going to lean away from it and go to
Yes.
someone else?
I reckon Cersei is going to do something that means Jaime and probably Bronn, I think that's his name,
Oh, yeah.
are going to go to Tyrion
Yeah.
and ask his forgiveness and join Tyrion. Not join Daenerys,
Join
Tyrion.
Join Tyrion, yeah. Because I saw things about it saying as well that he'll lean away and go and help. Even if he helps Tyrion, he'll be helping Daenerys, but you know what I mean? That's how it'll help her to win because of his, like, tactical prowess.
Who, Jaime's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's how they got the Unsullied stuck, because he said when he sits down with Marjorie's mum, can't remember her name, he says that he learnt from the Battle of, like, the Whistling Woods or something. Whoever taught him a lesson there, and he said you learn from your mistakes.
Robb Stark kicked his backside.
That was it, yeah. It was really cool. Right, I mean, we've talked about loads of spoilers, but spoiler for the most recent episode, it was really cool right at the end when they're, like, having a nice conversation. Jamie's like, basically showing her mercy because he was like, we were going to flay you and stuff like that, and that she drank poison. She was like, oh yeah, we're going to not be frothing at mouth, and, basically said, oh yeah, I killed fucking Joffrey.
I killed Joffrey, yeah.
It was like, peace out, bitch.
Yes, that bit, I loved that bit so much because it was just, like, so savage.
She was one of the best characters. She was so just straight talking and, like, no nonsense, no bullshit. She was like, I'm too old for all of this la-di-da-di bullshit. Just like, I'm going to speak my mind and I'm going to do what I need to do, and that's going to be fucking it. Kind of, it's fucking great.
And yeah, and the look on Jaime's face.
You can see the anger, and he's just like, I showed you mercy and you did this. Fuck you!
I so expected there to be it to cut away from Jaime, look at the outside of the tower, and she goes face first out the window.
Or I expected him to maybe, like, draw his sword and, like, cut her head off or something, or stab her or something. I thought he was going to get.
Yes.
I thought he was going to get violent because of that, but it was really fucking funny.
Yes.
Yeah, it was too good. I'm trying to think what else is happening in Game of Thrones. The White Walkers coming in.
Actually, we kind of got to call it here.
Oh no!
See, we're nearly at 1 minute. We're at 1 minute 7.
1 hour, mate.
Huh? 1 minute? Yeah, 1 minute. We've been talking for a whole 60 seconds.
Go on. We can talk for, like, a little bit longer.
Okay, carry on. Sure.
I'm trying to think what else is happening in Game of Thrones. I got the White Walkers. I guess the White Walker thing is the biggest thing.
The Sand Snakes got their butts.
That was fucking hilarious. I didn't really see them as that great of fighters anyway, and I thought you could see anyway that they weren't going to kill Aeon because he's too big a character, but
yeah,
I still feel like you could see while they were fighting him that they were definitely not up to his standard.
Like, that's the thing. They were portrayed as these super amazing fighters and assassins, and then they just got bent over and, in one case, stabbed with her own spear, and the other girl hung on her own rope.
I guess it's a Game of Thrones thing because it's when Jaime's in Dorne, when the dude still ruled over it, the actual king.
Yeah,
he had that big black guy that had that huge spear, and he was the best. He was one of the best fighters in the world. And so was Jaime when he had his right hand. And the black guy says to him, he says, "If you had your right hand, this would have been a really good fight." And the way he's one of the best fighters, I think it was in Dawn or possibly the world. But he dies because one of the Sand Snakes just stabs him in the back and he's dead.
Yeah.
It's like such an awesome fighter and he's dead. Same with the Sand Snakes. So we see this awesome female team of badasses. They put up a pretty good fight, but they get wrecked in the end. Because like you said, one of them ends up attached to the boat via spear and the other one gets hung from the front by
her whip.
Her whip. So it's like, I like that they do that. They take these characters that in the world that they are in, they have been really good, but as soon as they get put into a fight with someone, it's cool to see them, like, up to a point they've been really good, but suddenly they get thrown into this other world where there are other fighters and they're actually not the best. I do like that they show really, really good armies or fighters and stuff and they just get completely outclassed. Do you think Jon and Daenerys are going to get together?
I'm not sure.
And why? And also, why do you think when Sir Davos, right, the Onion Knight, yeah,
Yeah.
when he was talking about what Jon had gone through, why do you think he? I know Jon gave him a look to stop talking about when he died and get resurrected. Do you think that was because Jon doesn't want to talk about it, or do you think that was because there's the Game of Thrones prophecy, Game of
Yeah.
Thrones prophecy. It's about it's about I can't remember it was called The Prince That Was Promised, but I'm wondering if in that prophecy it says somewhere it's about someone being reincarnated, because obviously Daenerys believes that's her, but
yeah, only because Melisandre said the prophecy in High Valyrian, at which point they don't have a gender for the verb prince or princess.
But I'm just wondering.
Say it in English, innit?
Whether
you do. Carry on. If you think Jon knows the prophecy and knows, or that there's something wrong with being dead.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm just trying to work out whether it says that.
Did you not consider that he's asking her to help him fight an army of the living dead, and he's the living dead?
I get, but
he died. He was brought back to life. In fact, George R.R. Martin, I can't remember whether it was in a tweet or something, talked about the other guy that keeps getting brought back to life by the power of what's it called? Right, the guy walking around with Clegane at the moment.
Oh, the Lord of Light keeps bringing him back.
Yes, every time he comes back, there's like a little less of him there.
Yeah,
he's less the man he used to be, and more just this Walking Dead thing. And he said that he sees that man. So I'm inferring that anyone brought back by the Lord of Light, they're not human anymore.
Yeah.
They are in fact whites, which is what the Army of the Living Dead are.
Yeah.
They are just whites made by the Lord of Light rather than the Night King. And so the Night King can't do it very well. The Lord of Light can, is what I'm inferring.
Yeah.
And that these people... Jon is no longer human, is what I'm taking from this. Jon is a white, and somewhat ashamed of this. And he is fighting the army of the dead, and he is a dead man walking, literally.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that they... Okay, the Night King can bring back things from the dead, but he does do it in a different way. See, when I say he brings it back in a different way, I mean he brings them back and they are basically zombies, whereas I think the whole there's a little bit less of you every time you get brought back is the idea that dying and then being brought back to life shouldn't be like a, oh, he's dead, oh, he's brought back and everything's fine and nothing's wrong, that there should be something wrong. Because if you think about it, you would think that dying and then coming back to life, something's going to change you, something's going to, like, you're not going to be, it's going to be like a weird experience. I am just reading about the amazing warrior that saved the Seven Kingdoms back when the Great Others, who were basically White Walkers riding giant dead spiders, he's called Azor Ahai. He saved the Seven Kingdoms with his magical sword. Where did it say? Vanquished great others by forging a flaming hero sword called Lightbringer, and in order to unleash the weapon's full power, he had to plunge it through the heart of his beloved wife. So people are saying that Jon Snow is... People say, well, that because it went that... Because people... fucking words. That Daenerys is the strongest... is the strongest contender for being the great hero that's going to save everyone. But people are then saying that Jon and Daenerys are going to get together, and it was, what was it? It was that Lightbringer isn't a sword; it's a place, and that the Winterfell or something is Lightbringer, I think, because it's going to be a fortress that they're all going to fall back on if the dead get through, because it's the best one to fall back on, or something like that.
It's the northernmost fortress.
Yes, and it's called Lightbringer because it's going to be Lightbringer because it's almost like a beacon
Of
to
hope.
everyone. And that Drow got like one of the dragons or Daenerys is going to have to be killed there for like some kind of power to activate or something for Jon to be able to do whatever he needs to do. But this from the episode that was pulled from the episode, I think kind of backs up the idea that Daenerys is going to be in it, because obviously when Melisandre says it in High Valyrian, obviously there is no. They make a point of saying that there is no gender. They didn't have
There's
a
no
word.
gender to the verb prince.
Where people
in High
up
Valyrian.
until now they've talked about saying the prince that was promised, but
And
obviously
it
now
could be the princess.
they've made a point of, actually in High Valyrian they don't have a word for gender, so it's neutral. So I think that's them pointing to saying, look, she's a female, and just say my I'm just reading. Sorry, the other thing. Yeah, the other significant moment is when Melisandre says, "I believe you have a role to play, as does another, the King of the North, Jon Snow."
You're not very good at researching, are you? You're supposed to do it before the podcast.
Oh, fuck you! Keep
But
talking about
yeah.
stuff.
Speaking of Melisandre, I find it quite funny. Was Varys talking to her about not wanting to be there when Jon arrived?
Yeah.
I don't reckon she had a problem with Jon. It's Davos she didn't want to face.
Oh, because she obviously burnt Shireen, didn't she?
Shireen.
Yeah.
Jon wasn't there when she burnt Shireen. Jon doesn't know about her past sins. Davos does.
She didn't. Did she? She didn't really explain why she didn't want Jon. Because they didn't have a falling out or anything, did they?
No. And if she was present when Davos was there, Davos would have told Daenerys, "Do you know what this woman did? She burned a little girl."
Yeah.
At which point, Melisandre would have lost any influence with Daenerys.
Yeah.
And Daenerys probably wouldn't have trusted the red priests or priestesses anymore.
Yeah. So there is reason Daenerys fits the prophecy because she was born on Dragonstone during a storm. So it says in the prophecy about salt and fire, and she was reborn in blood and fire when she emerged from the. Remember when she basically hatched her dragon eggs naked. But I'm saying because it says in the prophecy about being reborn. I think that is maybe why, because Daenerys is going around maybe being hailed as the one who's going to save everyone because of her dragons and stuff like that. Maybe Jon was reborn, not necessarily in fire, but you could say he was kind of reborn in blood because he was stabbed and covered in blood. And you know what, all that stuff.
It could be blood and fire. It wasn't literal fire. It was the Lord of Light.
Yeah,
who is fire.
So exactly, there you go. So, and I think maybe he didn't want to talk about. Maybe it is just because he didn't want to talk about it. But you could say that it was because of that, because he didn't want Daenerys to definitely not join up with him, because I guess he would think that he doesn't want her to stop thinking that she's the savior or whatever. Although
though I do think it's because it's weird being dead.
Yeah.
He died, he came back to life. That ain't normal. Like, even people go like, it's a show full of dragons and you don't believe White Walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because dragons have been proved. They've got skulls, they've been around for centuries. Dragons are the norm, they just died out. White Walkers are an ancient myth. Coming back from the dead, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
This stuff isn't normal. So that's why I think he didn't want to talk about it.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and the Great Others were defeated by Azor Ahai, like, fucking however long ago. So he defeated them, so they haven't come back yet, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're only just rising up, so... yeah. I don't know. there's a lot of like, all we've got to go off is a prophecy, and Melisandre said in the most recent episode, and has said before, that prophecies can be misread and misinterpreted, and it is done at like your own peril.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it could be. I think it is going to be Jon and Daenerys, or it's going to be like a combination of both of them doing something, because they've both got. Because obviously Jon is a Targaryen, so he's got that background stuff. He's got a
That
very.
hasn't actually been confirmed yet, has it?
Yeah, it was in the episode.
No,
Bran had loads of.
Yeah, he saw that Jon's mother is not some whore in a brothel somewhere. It's Ned's sister. But he never saw that Jon's father is Rhaegar. That's just being assumed. Also, and I am going to stop us now because we're 1 hour and 20 minutes in.
Okay.
So, basically, Game of Thrones is all getting very interesting. And everything's happening now. There are lots of interesting theories. If you'd like to discuss them in the comments, please do.
Yeah.
If you'd like to discuss anything we talked about today, please do.
Yeah, again.
Again, if you have any ideas for names for this podcast, we would be happy to hear them. We don't have any ideas really other than the Commence Entertainment Podcast, which is boring as all hell. Other than that, thank you for joining us. I've been Jacob.
I have been Luke.
Please like, comment, and share this video if you've enjoyed it. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.